Good day! We are the Group 3 and we're going to analyze the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in Barangay Nibaliw, West Vidal, San Fabian, Pangasinan. This presentation aims to analyze the following: strengths that could benefit the community, weaknesses that could make the community vulnerable to multiple risks, opportunities that could be an advantage to improve the community, and lastly, threats that could harm the safety of the community.
Due to the geography of the community of Barangay Nibaliw, West Vidal, San Fabian, Pangasinan, which is generally beside the beach, it is great at catering tourists, and this is what the community does well. The location of the barangay creates opportunities for the local residents to create major and minor businesses that help them attain a reasonable income. Businesses such as beach resorts, stores, local vending stands, bars, hotels, restaurants, and others are some of the opportunities done well in this community. Barangay Nibaliw West is situated in between the sea and fields of rice and trees. And this is a unique source that the community draws on. This location gives natural resources for local fishermen, land and marine farmers, and even local services that are connected to the beach, such as local businesses for paid touristic boat rides, jet skis, and much more.
Barangay Nibaliw West boasts a larger coastal area than most other beaches in its vicinity, making it a more attractive choice for tourists. And additionally, although somewhat idealistically, people are more inclined to distance themselves when they're given space, and this would attribute to social distancing. Because of the sea and the land and its areas of commerce being so closely linked to each other, trade would be easier accessibility-wise, and it would overall just help in the development of Barangay Nibaliw West.
So in weaknesses, number 1, what could you improve? Barangay Nibaliw West, San Fabian, Pangasinan need a lot of action plan because the waste on the beach are not properly disposed and the garbage is slowly going into the sea. So if the garbage is continue going into the sea, it will cause a water pollution. And number 2, where do you have a fewer resources than others? Barangay Nibaliw West, San Fabian, Pangasinan are not prioritizing to do rules on the beach that people will be followed. So if some people who are going to the beach, they throw their trash can or their garbage anywhere or any part of the beach. And they don't also hire guards. So, we all know that on the beach, the important one is having a guard in the entrance. And they don't have a permanent roads on the beach. So, the cars just passing through the sand if they want to go to another part of the beach. And the beach on this location will give pollution because the garbage is dumped on the sea.
What are others likely to see as weaknesses? First is lack of action plans or not being in control of what happened in our community. Second thing is the lack of enforcers because enforcers play a vital role in our community for maintaining the public order or safety in the community. Third is management, and fourth is undifferentiated service lines, and lastly is peer access to distribution.
The community is known to have many tourists. It will be an opportunity to the residents to have a potential growth in their businesses and markets, especially those businesses that offers localized products. Tourists would love to buy a local products as a souvenir, and that will be a great source of income of the residents in the community. So what trends could the community take advantage of? The community could use new technologies such as social media to promote their community. Webinars or online seminars could also be beneficial for the community to conduct health promotion and health education programs.
As mentioned before, Barangay Nibaliw West contains a large tourist economy because of its inherent attractiveness. A way we could turn this into more opportunities would be to expound on that inherent ability to enthrall people. And this is by marketing and creating more tourist spots. Now, marketing is always a calculated risk. It may not always generate a positive turnover. And with Barangay Nibaliw West, it could still be risky, but the chances of it actually generating a positive turnover would be more likely so. And creating more tourist spots would make it not just a beach-centered area, and that would create more diversity and would help them cement their standing as a tourist destination.
So now threats. So first is what presence or practices in the community can harm the people. We've listed down 3. First is trashes are everywhere or are not properly segregated. As we can observe from the pictures gathered, trashes are everywhere. They're not properly segregated, and we all know what and how many diseases can be acquired in the trash. Toxic chemicals, rotten foods, living organisms that can infiltrate a human body and harm their entire immune system are just examples of what a person can be exposed into that can harm or even kill them. Second is alcoholic beverages are not prohibited in the place. We all know that when people have a get-together, beverages like this cannot be avoided, but we all know too that it brings a lot of harm in the human's body, which the community is not helping in putting a stop. Rather, they just let people enjoy themselves in more practices like this that can harm them for the rest of their lives. Third is exposure in the sun. Too much exposure in the sun. Being exposed in the sun is not harmful at all in humans, unless they are exposed too much. That is where skin diseases starts to occur, such as skin damage, skin cancer, even eye damage and dehydration happens. If a person is exposed into too much sunlight, and as we can see from the pictures that were shown in the community that we choose, people expose themselves to broad daylight without any protection, which is understandable in that situation since they're just trying to enjoy themselves. But it's one thing that could harm them. These practices can harm them. Second question is, what is something done in the other community that is not done in this community? First is observing cleanliness. The place is filled with trashes everywhere, no proper segregations of trashes, and worse, people in the community are being exposed in this and can put their health in risk. They do not give much importance and the other on proper waste management, unlike other communities that even have penalties for those people who are caught leaving trashes everywhere and not properly segregating them. Second is prohibiting alcoholic beverages. A lot of places here in Metro Manila ban the selling of any alcoholic beverages, which just show how concerned they are for the people in their community. It is being observed properly to lessen the harm happening and also to prevent people from taking in too much alcohol in their system, which can result on harming themselves. This community that we have on the previous one seems to have not any care for what their people in the community are doing. That might result in slowly harming the entire community if they do not set their rules and or protocols right. Third is right observation of policies. Every community has their own policies that the people in their scope should follow. But as we can see, the community that we have here, people seem to not have any care for what rules or regulations their community have. One reason could be that the community itself does not observe properly the rules they are implementing and not giving enough attention in it.
For the third question, what threats do your weaknesses expose? Threats may occur because of the existing weaknesses. The weakness of the community includes the lack of enforcers in the community and the lack of action plan. Lacking of action plan can lead to disorganization, while having one can help them identify what problems may occur and what actions the authorities should take in order to solve the problem. It also helps them to know what to do in order to improve the community. Another weakness is the lack of enforcers or staff that are roaming around the community. Having no enforcers around could lead to serious health risks, such as drowning, and it is due to the uncontrollable drinking of alcoholic beverages while swimming on the beach.
Conclusion. Barangay Nibaliw has the heightened ability to generate tourists, and with that is an increase in economy, which is great, but we will be looking at this through the public health lens. As mentioned before, water pollution and trash is a problem because it could spell potential diseases for people, tourists, and locals alike. Adding to this would be the issue of alcoholism and why it's really not good for the body, and it could even lead to accidents. And also, extrapolating more would be the case of COVID-19. Earlier, I've said that because of its larger area, people are more inclined to separate themselves. That is not always the case. As I've said before, that's being idealistic. And we should enforce these types of things, that people should stay separate from each other. And another issue would be that of enforcement. So with those types of things, with those qualifications, even though Barangay Nibaliw is attractive, is a tourist spot, precautions should still be made because of health reasons, and that is going to be our report. Thank you.